Our top focus at this hour, India's Foreign Minister Jaishankar, who is in Britain for the G7 meeting, said that he would hold all further talks virtually after being exposed to possible coronavirus cases. And according to the British government, 2 members of the Indian delegation attending the G7 ministers' meet may have tested positive for COVID-19. India's entire delegation at the summit is self-isolating in London. On May 3rd, during the G7 Foreign Ministers meeting, India's Foreign Minister Jaishankar attended a news conference with the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken. In a tweet, the Foreign Minister says, and I quote, "Was made aware yesterday evening of exposure to possible COVID-19 cases. As a measure of abundant caution and also out of consideration for others, I have decided to conduct my engagements in the virtual mode. That will be the case with the G7 meeting today as well." Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson said that India and Britain share a very important relationship and that he will be seeing the Indian Foreign Minister but through a video call.
I think it's very important to try to continue as much business as you can as a government. We have a very important relationship with India, with our G7 partners. As I understand it, what's happened is that the individuals concerned are all isolating now. And I will be seeing the Indian Foreign Minister later on this afternoon, but that will be a Zoom exchange, I'm given to understand.
A senior British diplomat said that Britain deeply regrets that India's foreign minister will be unable to attend the G7 meetings in person. The US State Department spokesperson, meanwhile, confirmed that the US delegation will continue activities as planned despite the COVID scare. Foreign ministers from the G7 nations gathered in London for the first face-to-face meeting in more than 2 years. Aggressive stances of China and Russia are high on the agenda at the meetings. Now, for more on this story, WION's principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, is joining us live on this broadcast. Now, Siddhant, we know that all meetings with Jaishankar are happening virtually as of now, as he is isolating. What can you tell us about the health condition of those believed to be COVID positive?
Well, there were 4 members in the Indian delegation, who is right now in London for the G7 meeting. Now, of course, it's given to understand that there was certain contact with perhaps the virus or someone who was carrying the virus. And that is why, as part of abundant caution, the Indian delegation is now isolating. The Indian delegation is healthy as of now. And what is being awaited is the direction from the UK health authorities. Only after that, there can be some development. As of now, today was the last day of the G7 meeting, but an important day because today was the day when all the invited members of the G7, that is India, Australia, South Africa, South Korea, and of course the chief of the ASEAN were to be taking part in various meetings, which includes meeting on climate change, on health issues. So the Indian External Affairs Minister is now taking part through virtual mode, and that is the format that is going. He's expected to come back towards the end of this week, but still awaiting the final nod from the UK health authorities.
Right, Siddhant, what kind of quarantine measures and protocols are being followed in London as of now, and when is the Indian delegation expected to return?
Well, Priyanka, the visit of the Indian External Affairs Minister was from Monday till Thursday. He was expected to come back by Thursday evening, that's tomorrow evening, or perhaps by Friday morning. As for the protocols, this was the first meeting of so many foreign ministers taking place amidst the COVID pandemic, and it's after a gap of 2.5 years that the G7 foreign ministers are meeting. India has been invited since 2019, first by the French, then by the Americans, and now by the British. And this time, of course, all the COVID protocols are being followed. It is being continuously monitored. And given that it is a high-profile event, a lot of caution, abundant caution being put in place on the ground. In fact, if you look at the visuals coming from G7, there are glass windows, in a sense that there are glass walls that are separating the various foreign ministers from each other. So that was the caution level. But the fact that cases have now emerged, this has happened. So we do expect more development. The Indian External Affairs has already reacted on Twitter, but we do expect some kind of release coming from the UK health authorities.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast, and thank you for all your inputs. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.